Most artists are taught that color is the most important part of creating realism or 3D art, whereas color is actually the least important puzzle piece. After mentoring hundreds of artists online, I've seen one thing flatten more paintings than anything else, and I used to make it myself. When I painted this portrait of my daughter, the colors were fairly decent, but she looked cartoonish, and I had no idea why. It took painting in grayscale for me to realize I was missing the foundation of realism: value relationships. Most artists focus on pretty pictures before building out the structural bones of a painting. I'm going to show you how to fix that using value. We're going to talk about the universal law of light. We're going to talk about the shadow rule and the spy that's hiding in your shadows that's killing your realism. My mission is to help you navigate the fundamentals so you can build a creative life that you're proud of. If your light source doesn't make sense, your brain instantly flags the painting as fake. Look at what happens to the structure of this apple when multiple lights of equal strength hit it. The form totally disappears. We see our world exclusively in terms of light and shadow. Our brains are constant lie detectors. They're always looking for things that are familiar and make sense based on our world around us. On Earth, we have one sun, one primary light source. That means on every object outside in nature, there's one side that is going to face the sun and another side that is faced away from the sun, meaning it's in shadow. When you allow multiple light sources of equal strength to hit your subject, you're asking the viewer's brain to solve a puzzle that doesn't exist in the real world. The eye can't find the structure, so it interprets the painting as a flat 2D object. That means your painting collapses because you've broken the rules of nature. Without a single dominant light source, there's no structural skeleton to hang your colors on top of. The moment I stopped painting noses or apples and started instead painting light and shadow is the moment that my work started to take on a 3D effect. If you can identify where an object or a subject is being hit directly by the light, where it is faced away from the light, therefore where it's in shadow, you are no longer just decorating a canvas with color. Instead, you're building a 3D object that your brain instantly recognizes as dimensional. It recognizes that it has volume and depth. Having a main light source is a great start. However, there's one specific ratio that separates a realistic object from a flat appearing one. Most beginners struggle here because they don't realize just how much real estate your shadow needs to occupy in order to create realism. Most artists fail before they even touch the canvas because they treat shadows like an afterthought, an insignificant sliver at the edge of an object. Without enough shadow real estate, your painting has no room to build depth. To master this at home, I recommend a controlled environment where you can actually see these laws in action. My DIY still life box video, linked in the description, shows you how to set up an environment like this at home so you can study values as well. When I first started painting, I didn't know how to think about value. I was just doing what everybody else told me to do, which is to paint what you see. I was never able to clearly show where a face transitioned from light into shadow because I myself couldn't see it. I had never been taught to think in terms of light and shadow. So instead of 3D form, my painting became a nondescript, kind of flattened out, cartoonish representation of a person. I couldn't show the shape of a nose, the turn of the cheek, the shape of a jaw, because I was trying to paint details before I even understood form. The fix here is an approximation that you can use for any subject, from a complex face all the way down to a very simple apple and everything in between. At least 2/3 of your object should be occupied by light, where 1/3 of your object or subject should be in the shadows. This 2/3 light to 1/3 shadow provides the exact amount of information that a viewer's brain needs to recognize a 3D object on a flat shape. But getting the shadow ratio right is just the next step. In order to keep that depth from falling apart, we need to respect the wall that needs to sit between our lights and our shadow values on our palette. Most artists know what a value scale is, but they treat it like a rigid matching game, trying to force the exact color they see into a specific number. The real problem is that if you simply copy colors in isolation, you lose that distinction between light and shadow values. The fix is to have a built wall on your palette. This is a physical or a mental line that separates out your light values from your shadow values. By drawing a line with a Sharpie on your palette, you can create two distinct zones, a light zone and a shadow zone. Without this wall, your values will eventually cross-pollinate. You'll find yourself painting lights that are too dark. You find yourself painting shadows that are too bright because your brain is tricked by the values that it sees around it. When these values mix across that boundary, the structural integrity of the object falls apart. That means that the eye loses its signal that it needs to recognize where an object turns from the light into the shadow. If light values leak over into your shadowed areas on your painting, the viewer's brain can no longer perceive the three-dimensional illusion of that object, and it instantly flattens out the shape. So the wall on your palette acts as a sliding scale. As you get started with this and start to play around with it, I'm going to propose one non-negotiable rule. That is, all your light values must be lighter in value than your shadow values. This is going to allow you to establish really clear value relationships within a painting. You don't have to hit a specific number for every shadow. If you decide your lights are in the 4 to 7 value range, then your shadows simply need to stay in that 8 to 10 range to hold the illusion. If you shift your lights to be very bright, let's say a 2 or a 3 on the value scale, your shadows just need to be a 4 or darker. As long as you keep that relationship clear and separate, your paintings will keep its 3D realistic look. Establishing this hierarchy is the only way to protect your 3D form. But even with the perfect wall on your palette, there is a visual lie that almost every beginner artist falls for. A master of disguise designed to trick your brain into wanting to break this rule. The most dangerous trap in realism is reflected light. It only appears bright because it's surrounded by darker values. But this is a visual trick. Reflected light is just a spy in the shadows pretending to be real light. Most artists get tripped up here because they paint what they think they see, a bright spot in the darkness. But if you treat that reflection as a true light, your 3D form is going to start to collapse. Physics tells us that every time light bounces, it loses energy. When the light hits the table, some of it is absorbed, some of it bounces back. So the portion that bounces back is already weakened. When that reflected light hits the shadowed side of the apple, again, some of that light is absorbed by the apple, only some of it is reflected to your eye. So it's weakened again. In a single light setup like this, that means reflected light will always be weaker, aka less bright than the direct light that is hitting the subject or object. Keeping your reflected light lighter than the core shadow of the subject, but firmly in that shadowed side of your palette is what maintains that 3D look. Your brain needs this clear distinction to believe that an object is real. To see exactly how much weight value carries, we need to put these relationships to work and watch as this flat shape turns into a 3D apple. Notice how I'm not changing the color here at all, only the value. I stopped painting an apple and I started painting light and shadow. In respecting the wall between values, the apple starts to lift off the page. Value is the foundation of every realistic painting. When your value relationships are dialed in, you can use the wrong colors and your painting will still have depth. But even a perfect value relationship won't save a painting from looking amateur if you ignore your edges. If you leave every edge sharp or unrefined, or you don't have a real clear decision-making process as to what to do with your edges, your work will always have that beginner feel. To finally break out of that beginner look and to create a professional illusion of depth, you must master your edge control. Watch this lesson next to learn how to take those stiff, hard lines and turn them into believable, realistic form by staying true to the physics of light.